Hello YouTube, just a little vlog on my completed hoverboard scale model. It's a 1/3 scale. Just show you what we're going to go through really quickly. First concept, that's what they call the flying Jeep concept. There's a few concepts have flown, very few, like the flying Jeep in 1955 or something like that, around that time, maybe early 60s, late 50s. It's just like this. Imagine this, sort of like 30 foot by 12 foot or something, or 25 foot by 12 foot, and a cockpit there and a cockpit there. What it looked like, great big hoverboard. It flew really well, but I suppose it wasn't that efficient really compared to the helicopter, so they banged it. So I've got a new design, larger rotor diameter. It's just, this is an impromptu vlog on it, just to go through all the points. Now if I get that lined up just the right place, it should be able to see the difference in rotor diameter. And the new concept does seem smaller, but that's because it's a bit lower. But it's actually a little bit bigger, not much. Marginally, you know. The width of this bigger, you know. And inside it's a bit smaller. And that's for style, basically. So it looks better than, it doesn't look so thick. Makes it look thinner. It's actually thinner there than this one is, you know. But here it's a little bit wider. As you can see, you can take the boots off. Don't need them on there for this demonstration. And as you see, it's just marginally bigger. Yet you can see the rotor diameter is quite a lot bigger and more area, a lot more area than anything else, so it'd be more efficient. And you have a different battery set up. You don't have the ones on the ends. You got them just in the middle, but these are bigger batteries, a little bit bigger, to compensate also the larger rotor disc diameter. Will also compensate, and should run with a little bit less power and do the same job. Now let's go through the points. As said, as a concept, that is the first one. And one more thing about it, you can only control this concept with the feet when it comes to roll and pitch. Now pitch is when, I have to show you this very clearly, otherwise you won't see it properly. Pitch is when it does this. Get it so I can see it clear. It's very hard to see it clear. Pitch is like that. And I've got to do it clearly, otherwise it won't turn out. You won't see it. Now to do the roll, very clearly now, it's like, oops, see, you can't see it. You have to go straight on like this. Now you still can't see it, so we'll do it this way. That's roll, you see. As clearly as I can do it, and exaggerating, so you know. Because on the distortion on it, because the perspective makes it really hard to turn out on the video. And I tried that before and it didn't turn out at all, but that time it did, I think. And so the pitch and the roll I just demonstrated is done by your feet, and only done by your feet. It can't be done by the hoverboard because there's no software to do it. So you need a multi-copter design, like, no, not like that, but like that. if you want to control the hoverboard with your iPhone. I'll get rid of my feet so you can see it. It's just a vlog this, so it doesn't matter if there's mistakes in this video. But you got a lot less rotor disc diameter with that than you do with this, you see. Or this even more. Look how much you got compared to the other thing. You got about a third more or something nearly, you know, on this one. And you got at least a quarter more on this one. That's a lot more, you know. And so you got more thrust with this design, and that's why. And also you can control it with your feet. And there's a hoverboard on YouTube called the water hoverboard, and it just squirts water out, and you got to control it with your feet, and even with your on the water hoverboard. Look it up on YouTube, called water hoverboard, powered by a jet ski. It's really fantastic, but you can only operate on water. Now with this you got your control done by your feet as well, but radio control. Sensor switches on each end, and you can make this move marginally with your feet. Marginally is my new word for the day. Just that little bit, you know. And you only need it on one foot, but do it with both feet because it's more natural. And you can force your feet that way with a lot of force without, you know, both doing it without actually turning around, mucking around with the control. I tried it, you can, with the forces. And so that operates little switches, which operates a radio control system, which operates vanes. And the vanes make the hoverboard do this. Very clearly I have to show you. Turning on the spot, you see, and that's called your control. It's also when I'm on the hoverboard flying, it would be my control as well. Now here we go. Look underneath. You see the vanes? And it's just a model demo, and the vanes do this. When you move these things with your feet, that little bit, it operates servos which will move these the way you want it. So it's a radio controlled, your control. And there's the motors. Now, that's the concept. And the only other thing, of course, is a throttle control of some sort. And I thought to have it on your belt sort of thing. Don't know if it's on your belt. I just get this nicely set up so it's freaking well straight. I hate it when it's not straight, you know. Now, you got on his belt there a few buttons for hover height, one off and on and stuff like that. And you just push one of the buttons when you want a certain height. You want to land, push land button, you know, which one is it, land or whatever one. You got off, land, high hover and low hover, or off, land, low hover and high hover, I'd say. But also, you might have a little knob on it, which you can turn around as well to make it fine adjustment hover. So you can have basically any hover height you want, but you have 1 foot hover and 2 foot hover, land and off, you see. And you can make the 1 foot hover 2 inches if you like, you see, and you make the 2 foot hover as low as 1 foot if you like, with the fine adjustment, you see. And the great idea, you just on your belt, and you turn the little knob on your belt to adjust your hover, you know, and you can click another button if you want to land, push one of the buttons, push the land button, and the hoverboard has just enough power for a really slow descent. And when you're nearly on the ground, it might hover a bit, so you just turn the knob down a little bit until it's on the ground. And then you just push the off button and turn it off. It's a great idea, you know. That belt there originally did not have those buttons on it. I put them on since, you see. And the original picture did not have the hoverboard underneath either. There it is, the hoverboard, hovering at the height I want it to hover, at least that height. It's only about a bit over a foot, but it sort of want that sort of effect at least, and I don't want it 6 inches off the ground, you know. Now, a hover height, we've done that. Concept hover height, main bodywork. When I build the bodywork will be made of plywood. I'll be making plywood pieces like this, 3 of them, and they'll be all like a gap in between them, and in the top one there'll be 1 piece of plywood that shape on the top and 1.5 inches below, and you can't see on YouTube that well, but there's a curve there, and it's very important to have that curve. It's about 1.5 inches like diameter curve, or inch radius sort of thing, that curve. And I'm just going to build that curve out of polystyrene. Maybe put a bit of plastic hose around there, but that won't be as accurate, I don't think. Polystyrene, you can make it the shape you want, or just guess the shape. Not circular, you know. It's got to be like a wing shape of an aeroplane to some degree, you know, because it gives lift. When the air goes around there, it gets sucked in and acts like an aeroplane wing, and gives it a little bit of lift. It adds to the whole thing, you see, and makes it more efficient. And so I'm making that part out of polystyrene, and the rest will be all plywood and wood, like really stiff wood, like Western red cedar planking as well, you know, thin planking. The whole thing will be really light, and that's it. That's the main bodywork. I make it myself, and I add the parts to it, which is expensive, but the bodywork will not be expensive. Footholds and grills. We've done the footholds. Just say a little bit more about the footholds though. The footholds will have to be replaceable, and they have to be different sizes, and you have to be able to adjust them this way, to some way, just some sort of mechanism, only moving a couple of inches I suppose, somehow to turn something and reverse it round or something. And the footholds, the idea is rubber, so if you hit something, hit a tree or something when you're hovering, you can come off. If you have your feet jammed on permanently, now it's going to be run into a lot of problems, you know. It's a big issue with hoverboards. You won't be able to have it like that, because it'd be like strapped on a motorbike when you come off, when you fall down, you know. You're better off coming off the motorbike. It's the same with the hoverboards. And so the rubber is pretty cool, because you can just pull your foot straight out vertically when in a crash, you know, or it would happen, it'd just come out, wouldn't it? But when you're flying and hovering, there's so much pressure, the whole weight on those things, the whole body weight, half your body weight in each one on average, and so there's no way in the world you better pull your foot out without the board flipping up and losing control, and then you'd probably crash, and then you'd come out, but that's the only way you better do it. And you've got about 3 or 4 inches wall there, a fair bit, and fairly solid rubber stuff, so like really coarse, I mean not coarse, really dense thong material or something like that, so it'd be light and strong. So that's the footholds. Now the grills are easy. There's 2 easy things about it. There's what I'm going to make the grills out of. Just cut out of a circle of that. That's the fly screen, or from a security screen, standard security screen. Now we've gone out of focus. It's focused now, and that's what I'll make it out of. And in the middle, it's supported by the spindle, because as you can see there's 4 motors there, and you can just see the black cogs there. They're just representational cogs, and so the spindle in the middle is stationary. That's simple, and the propeller just spins around it. And because it's stationary, we can use that to support the grill, and so it supports your weight, and so the grill won't sag into, even if you put your foothold like here, it's such a short distance between there, I don't think it'll sag anyway. But we could probably use another extension piece, a really thin piece of carbon fibre going there, along there, So in the case of this one, because the footholds are going to be not really on centre anymore, but maybe they'll be still close enough, you know. They're just a bit wider. And with this one, the footholds have got to be actually a little bit away from the centre, but not very much, so I don't think you need additional support. Anyway, and the next thing, we're going to do this as quick as we can, the battery system. Now what it's all about is the battery system. Just read that. Instead of a long 6-minute run, or whatever minute it'll go for, just compare it with the Hoverboard. It goes 6 minutes. It takes 40 minutes to recharge. But if it's only a 2-minute run, it should only take 15 minutes to charge. And after you've done this, the battery would be half charged anyway, like it would have drank too much already. But and so you only got, you know, like probably not even a 10-minute wait. So you can do this and wait 10 minutes, and do that again and wait 10 minutes, and do that again and wait 10 minutes. But with the Hoverboard, you just got a 6-minute run, and then you got a 40-minute wait. And that's because the Hoverboard batteries won't come out, but these batteries come out. You see, you can take them out. And charge them up. You don't have to take them all out, there's the batteries. And then you put them in a charger. There's the batteries out. That's a pretty cool picture. Leave it there for about 10 hours and put it on your wall. When the batteries are charging, you have an A-frame. You have one set on each side of the A-frame. And so you've got two chargeability for 2 sets, you see. Then you have another A-frame. You've got to get the friggin' wheel straight. And then you've got 4 sets of batteries chargeable with the 2 A-frames, but you don't worry about the 4th set, you've just got 3 sets. And the reason for that is because when you swap your batteries over, you don't have to fumble around with the batteries and put them all on the ground and all that sort of stuff. You can just put them straight from one to the other. That's because you've got a spare set of slots on the second A-frame, you see. It's that easy. So you always got a spare set of slots. So one side of one A-frame has spare slots, and the other 3 sides are charging batteries. So, and if we had a farm, it'd be absolutely crazy, because you could have 10 sets of batteries. And if you had 10 sets of batteries, you could fly all day continuously and not stop, except for 1-minute breaks to swap the batteries. And these days, I've changed my design to only 4 batteries instead of 8. So it's going to be a lot even easier and quicker to change as well, you know. And hopefully the same battery run, because a little bit less battery capacity in this one, but you have a bigger rotor diameter, you see. And so that will compensate, and so you hopefully have the same battery run for each one. I'll put the battery back in. I'll just show you again the battery slots, how they are. And I've got on the bottom the floors of it in a nice green colour. Now, put the batteries in and talk about it, I suppose. These are the battery packs. They're not the batteries are inside. The special shaped battery pack, and maybe they're made of some sort of metal or something. It can diffuse the heat, you know, have some sort of heat sink thing going, you know. There we go, and metal. And they dissipate the heat. Now, the next thing is the vane system. We went through that. And next thing, omnidirectional casters. I better show it to you again. Now, you can get them on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube, but on Google Images. Yeah, Google Image omnidirectional casters, and they're like a little ball. They're a ball caster, and they don't move around and around. They stay in one place. You just turn it upside down. There they are. They're like that. They're that shape, and they stay that shape, you see. There's no swinging around, they stay in one place. And they're just a half circle, like a half a ball, you know, about the size of a ping pong ball, I suppose, most of them. So you have, what, 6 of them, 4 for your main undercarriage, and 1 on each on the nose, you see. On each nose, so you won't scuff your board. And that's completely essential, because when you're on a skate park or on a surface where you've got cement surface, you want to be able to scuff around, and you can do it this way, do it that way, you can do it that way. Instead of just like this, you go back a bit, you can come in and scuff this way, because when you're hovering it's like on a spring, and it's springing up and down, and you got an average hover height, you know, you haven't got just a set hover height. So it might go 2 feet on average, but it might sometimes go higher than that momentarily, like a metre or more, and then come down and hit sometimes. And when it hits, it might be going sideways. So you're hitting, and your casters are doing their job. It's just so important to have. You've got to have them, because if you don't, you wreck your hoverboard. You wreck the bottom of your hoverboard. Your scuff plates won't be any good. You just fall off. You know, you just jolt too much. You know. So I've done a bit of thinking about it. There's a hell of a lot in it, isn't there? You know, they're great things. They're on Google Images. Have a look at them. They're great. The nylon ones, really super light and all that. You know, I've got to get my mouse and muck around for a little while. And the last one. Well, the last one's pretty simple if we get it focused. The last one there. It's just simply, if it works. If it works, I'm going to make this one. I'm going to put a plan on YouTube, and so people can make one, you know. Because it's really sort of, the only difficult part really is the blades, you know. You're probably better off making them yourself, but if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get really good ones by making them out of paraglider motors. And the reason you have lots of blades, and you've got to get the 2-blade ones and turn them into 6-blade or 5-blade or at least 4-blade, because I'll show you, the propellers are very, very powerful. You've got 50 horsepower on a propeller. There's normally only the size of a 10 horsepower propeller, you know, like sort of, but you've got to make sure the propeller handles the power, you see. And the paraglider ones would, because they're made for about 20-30 horsepower, you know, maximum. And you can, when you add the blades, it increases the power handling, you see. But the reason you have the same more blades, because when the propeller's overpowered, 2 blades will probably go, the tip speed will probably go supersonic, and with a subsonic propeller, it won't work if it goes supersonic. It's that simple. We want it to work, so we don't want the tip speed going any fast, close to the speed of sound. And so, in 6 blades, because there's more blades, it's just an inherent thing. The propeller will go a lot slower for the same thrust. For the same thrust, you get a slower propeller tip speed on a 6 blade than you do with a 2 blade by a lot, you see. And now, so not only that, the 6 blades, there's more blade area as well, and so it soaks up the power more, you see. And probably because they're in a duct, they probably need extra pitch. So when you make the propeller out of the paraglider propellers, you may have to increase the pitch just a little bit, or at least buy the biggest pitch one you can get, the most coarse pitch you can get, you see. And I'm saying you see too much, but I suppose I live near the sea. Anyway, that's it.
grass.